In the infinity of life where I am, everything is perfect, everything is whole, and everything is complete. I now choose calmly and objectively to see my old patterns, and I am willing to make changes. I can learn, I am teachable, I am willing to change. I choose to have fun doing this. I choose to react as though I have found a treasure when I discover something else to release. I see and feel myself changing moment by moment. Thoughts no longer have any power over me. I am the power in the world. I choose to be free. All is well in my world. All is well. I am in the rhythm and flow of ever-changing life. So you should know awareness is the first step in healing or changing. When we have some pattern buried deeply within us, we must become aware of it in order to heal the condition. Perhaps we begin to mention the condition, to complain about it, or to see it in other people. It rises to the surface of our attention in some way, and we begin to relate to it. We often attract a teacher, a friend, a class or workshop or a book to ourselves that begins to awaken new ways to approach the dissolving of the problem. My awakening began with a remark of a friend who had been told about a meeting. My friend did not go, but something within me responded and I went. That little meeting was the first step on my pathway of unfoldment. I didn't recognize the significance of it until some time later. Often our reaction to this first stage is to think the approach is silly or that it doesn't make sense. Perhaps it seems too easy or unacceptable to our thinking. We don't want to do it. Our resistance comes up very strong. We may even feel very angry about the thought of doing so. Such a reaction is very good if we can understand that it is the first step in a healing process. I tell people that any reaction they may feel is there to show them they are already in the process of healing, even though the total healing is not yet completed. And the truth is that the process begins the moment we begin to think about making a change. One more important thing: impatience. Impatience is only another form of resistance. It is resistance to learning and to changing. When we demand that it be done right now, completed at once, then we don't give ourselves time to learn the lessons involved with the problem we have created. If you want to move to another room, you have to get up and move step by step in that direction. Just sitting in your chair and demanding that you be in the other room will not work. It's the same thing. We all want our problem to be over with, but we don't want to do the small things that will add up to the solution. Now is the time to acknowledge our responsibility in having created a situation or condition. I'm not talking about having guilt, nor about being a bad person for being where you are. I'm saying to acknowledge the power within you that transforms our every thought into experience. In the past, we unknowingly used this power to create things we did not want to experience. We were not aware of what we were doing. Now, by acknowledging our responsibility, we become aware and learn to use this power consciously in positive ways for our benefit. Often, when I suggest a solution to the client, a new way to approach a matter, or forgiving the person involved, I'll see the jaw begin to clench and arms cross tightly over the chest. Maybe even fist will form. Resistance is coming to the fore, and I know we have hit upon exactly what needs to be done. We all have lessons to learn. The things that are so difficult for us are only the lessons we have chosen for ourselves. If things are easy for us, then they are not lessons, but are things we already know. And lessons can only be learned through awareness. If you think of the hardest thing for you to do and how much you resist it, then you are looking at your greatest lesson at the moment. Surrendering, giving up the resistance, and allowing yourself to learn what you need to learn will make the next step even easier. Don't let your resistance stop you from making the changes. Observe yourself. Watch how you resist, and then go ahead anyway. For example, our actions often show our resistance. For example, changing the subject, leaving the room, going to the bathroom, being late, getting sick, procrastinating by doing something else, doing busy work, wasting time, sometimes looking away or out the window, flipping through a magazine, refusing to pay attention, or eating, drinking, or smoking, creating breakdowns. And we often assume things about others to justify our resistance. We make statements such as, "It wouldn't do any good anyway. My husband or wife won't understand. I would have to change my whole personality. Only crazy people go to therapist. They couldn't help me with my problem. They couldn't handle my anger. My case is different. I don't want to bother them. I will work myself, and nobody else does it." And you know what? These are the beliefs that become our resistance to changing. And some of our limiting beliefs are, "It's not done. It's just not right. It's not right for me to do that." That wouldn't be spiritual. Spiritual people don't get angry. Men or women just don't do that. My family never did that. It's too far to drive. It's too much work. It's too expensive. It will take too long. I don't believe in it. I'm not that kind of person. And sometimes we give our powers to others and use that excuse as our resistance to changing. Like, "I'm waiting for the stars to say it's okay. This isn't the right environment. They won't let me change. I don't have the right teacher, book, class. My doctor doesn't want me to. I can't get time off work. I don't want to be under their spell. It's all their fault. They have to change first. You don't understand. They don't understand. I don't want them to hurt. It's against my upbringing. It's against my religion, philosophy, and so on." And for that, we have some self-concepts about ourselves that we use as limitations or resistance to changing, like too old, too young, too fat, too thin, too short, too tall, too lazy, too strong, too weak, too dumb, too smart, too poor, too worthless, too serious, too stuck. Maybe it's just all too much. Some of our resistance often express itself as delaying tactics. We excuse like, "I'll do it later. I can't think right now. I don't have the time right now. It would take too much time away from my work. Yes, that's good idea. I'll do it some other time." Or, "I have too many other things to do. I'll think about it tomorrow." Or, "As soon as I get back from this trip, I'll do it. This time isn't right. It's too late, or it's too soon." And now, by far the biggest category of resistance is fear. Fear of the unknown. And just listen to these. "I'm not ready yet. I might fail. They might reject me. What would the neighbors think? I might get hurt. I may have to change. It might cost me money. I would rather die first. I don't want anyone to know I have a problem. I'm afraid to express my feelings. I don't want to talk about it. I don't have the energy. Who knows where I might end up? It's too hard to do. I might hurt my back. It wouldn't be perfect. I might lose my friends. I don't trust anyone. I'm not good enough." And on the list goes. Do you recognize some of these as the ways you resist? Look for the resistance in these examples and write it down.